Greetings, fellow Earthlings and viewers across the World Wide Web. This is Toon 215, and right now we're in the state of Pennsylvania. We're currently in the city of Philadelphia. Today we're going to be taking a drive on one of the most dangerous roadways in America. It's considered the most dangerous road in Philadelphia. And when it comes to the country, State Farm and other insurance companies, based on statistics, rate it as second or third most dangerous road in America. So right now we're about to get on the Roosevelt Boulevard. We're going to get on Route 1. I'm going to make this right-hand turn. We're in the East Falls neighborhood. I'm going to make this right-hand turn and we're going to merge onto the highway. Now, the Roosevelt Boulevard can be considered a highway because it's one of our high speedways that you can use to travel from north to northeast Philadelphia, far northeast. Right now we are entering what can be considered the very beginning of it. You can go a little further behind me and jump on it a little sooner, but we're gonna start from right here. It's about 67, almost 70 degrees today, right now, early in the morning. It's about to be noon. We just entered Route 1, which is also known as the Roosevelt Boulevard. It's officially named Theodore Roosevelt Memorial Boulevard, but it's often referred to as the Boulevard. By locals, people from Philadelphia, we call it the Bully or the Boulevard. Very rarely do residents say, let's take a ride on the Theodore Roosevelt Memorial Boulevard. But that's the actual correct name. Now, as we're traveling, we're going to be mindful of the speeding cameras. Yes, there's speeding cameras on the Roosevelt Boulevard that was installed in the early 2000s due to many lives lost on this roadway. It is said that roughly 40 people have passed away due to collisions and or pedestrian accidents. People just simply crossing this road, kind of like the video game Frogger. You remember Frogger from back in the day, the old school game? Well, one of my favorite, I might add, is Dig Dug, but that's a different story. But Frogger was another popular game back in the day when you would cross the highway and you would attempt to get from one side to the other. Well, this is Frogger in real life because many people have tried crossing the road and to no avail, they weren't successful and they got hit and struck. So we're passing the LaSalle University exit. So now, considering that this is a highway, it's not a traditional highway that's raised above ground. For the most part, the Roosevelt Boulevard stays pretty level with the rest of the neighborhoods that it passes. Right now, we're driving over some actual train tracks below us. On the right, we have some hard hat workers doing some highway work. It looks like they are possibly working on the boulevard. We have an advertisement for Jefferson Health on our right-hand side. Philadelphia has several major hospitals, such as Jefferson Health, Penn Medicine, Drexel, and so on. I believe Temple is also one of the ones that are big names in the area. So we're in North Philadelphia. We're passing several neighborhoods on our left and on our right. Passing 9th Street. This is a 14-foot clearance right here. So if you have a tall truck, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna get stuck or you're gonna ruin your roof. So you can get off here. This is a very, very popular exit on my right-hand side. It's called Hunting Park. Hunting Park. It's a local park where Philadelphians go and visit on the weekday or on the weekends. They play sports games there, baseball, football. They hang out, play music, drink. It's a very popular park, especially amongst the Hispanics. And we're also passing one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in America. Well, at least in Philadelphia. It's called Hunting Park. It carries the same name. It's number 2 in Philadelphia's most dangerous list. Now, we have the signs that are notifying us. Photo enforced, 40 mile per hour speed limit. If you go over 40, it's going to take a picture. This camera's right here on my left. So I'm going to be very mindful of that because I don't want to get no hidden tickets. Now, back in the day, you can go as fast as you wanted on here. That's probably why a lot of the accidents happened. So we're going to come to this stop on 7th Street, 7th and the Roosevelt Boulevard. Yeah, back in the day, this was like a raceway. A lot of people would even drag race here or race here. Not officially, not line up, but if you would be next to somebody and you were at a light, you had a fast car, they revved it, you revved it, you guys would take it, you know, and then on a few occasions, people have crashed. Now, the total length of the Roosevelt Boulevard is 14.9 miles long. So it's about 15 miles long. The Roosevelt Boulevard was constructed in 1926, and it is considered a highway system. It's a part of the Pennsylvania State Route System. Let's continue moving forward past 7th Street. We have a Goodyear tire shop on our right. We're passing 6th Street, passing Wyoming. And again, we're passing dozens and dozens of neighborhoods. From hoods to what you can call neighborhoods. A little bit more friendlier looking. Neighborhoods like Alany, Wyoming, we passed Ogons, we passed Nicetown, Tioga, we passed several plus neighborhoods, Allegheny West. We're on 4th and Roosevelt Boulevard. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can tell from your POV, from your point of view. Wow, that bus on my right-hand side is spitting out a bunch of black smoke. We're passing 3rd Street. That wasn't even what I wanted you to tell. What I wanted to see if you guys can tell is, oh, and another camera. Sorry, let me slow down. We're doing about 29 miles an hour. So what I wanted to see if you noticed is there's 4 large sets of lanes. So what do I mean? There is 3 lanes on this road we're on. Then there is a center island on our left. And then there's another roadway with 3 lanes. And then there's another roadway with 3 lanes. And then on our right, there's another roadway with 3 lanes. So it's 12 lanes total. 6 going one way, 6 going the opposite way. And we got more photo enforced signs. And people still fly. Not everybody acknowledges those signs. Some people don't mind, or some people just don't care about tickets. This is probably one of the fastest way to get to the Northeast. Either this or the 95. If you want to get on Interstate 95, I-95. Wow, that bus on my right really needs to be inspected. That thing is spitting out dark clouds. We're passing Front Street, the Alany neighborhood, passing Rising Sun. We have a Dunkin' Donuts on our right. That's been robbed on a few occasions. Now, we have homes on our left and on our right, and then occasionally you'll see a few businesses. Some of the smaller businesses, honestly, I don't visit them, so I don't know how they stay afloat. Not because I'm the only customer in the world, but because I can't foresee many people stopping on a main roadway like this to just visit small mom and pop shops unless they have something, a novelty or something that they really need. Now, a few minutes up the road, we will run into major shopping centers, which have big box stores like Walmart, Home Depot, Staples, and so on. So I'm in the middle lane right now. I could have been on the further to the right lane. We'll probably adjust a little bit more down the road. So we're gonna take this pretty far. We're gonna do our best to probably try to at least go to one of the most dangerous intersections here on the Roosevelt Boulevard. There's 2 intersections that are classified as the most dangerous, one of them being Red Lion Road and the Roosevelt Boulevard, based on State Farm. There's a lot of insurance claims reported in the area. So we're gonna go down there, take a look at it. We have a little apartment complex on my right-hand side. Sunoco gas station on my right, which has gas for $4.19 per gallon. Interesting side note, an anecdote for this little used car dealership on my left. We're at F and Roosevelt Boulevard. When they started rioting here in Philadelphia and they began looting. There's a dealership on my left called Royal Car Center. Visit www.royalcarcenter.com. I believe that was the one where they lost over $100,000 in luxury cars. Many young youth were passing F and Roosevelt Boulevard. Many young youth looted that used dealership. They went into the main office. They took the keys. They started stealing Scat Packs, Chargers, Mercedes, and they were driving them off the lot. They televised it on social networking. They did a little video and put it up on the internet. And so that's how I know that that was the location. And it was on the news too. More than likely, the company probably wrote it off as an insurance write-off. Passing J&E Cold Beer, we're passing Whitaker Avenue. We have a Cube Smart Self-Storage on our left, a Days Inn. We have more residential homes on our right. As you can see, these residential homes, they don't look like your traditional North Philadelphia residential home. They follow that Northeast Philadelphia facade. When you get to Northeast, that's what the buildings start looking like. We're passing Whitaker. We have entrance to Adams Ave coming up. On our left, you got a Dollar Tree, T-Mobile, Five and Below, United Buffet was a really popular old country buffet back in the day. Chick-fil-A, there's some new businesses, some old businesses. We're passing Pet Boys. This is where the Staples and the Walmart and all that's on our left. There's also some small businesses like GameStop, PetSmart, the GNC, and so on. Now that Dollar Tree that we passed by too, we have Friends Hospital on our right. To my knowledge, Friends is a psychiatric hospital. I think that's what it is. Like if you have, I'm not gonna make any more assumptions. It's Friends Hospital. If you want to learn more about Friends Hospital, Google it. But I believe special needs people reside there. So we are going to continue traveling forward. We have a gentleman on our left-hand side who is walking back and forth with a sign and a mask. He's asking for a change. The truck on our left just blocked him, and on our right, we have a shopping cart. Now, occasionally, depending on the time of year and which intersection you're at, this is a really bad one right here too, Adams Avenue. There was several motorcycle accidents, fatal motorcycle accidents right here at this intersection. So, and on our left, you will get to Longcrest, and you go to Longcrest, Longdale neighborhood, and so on. So we're doing 40, trying to be mindful of the speed limit. We're approaching the Oxford Circle neighborhood, which is a neighborhood that was put on headlines within the last 2 decades because local Philadelphia rapper Gilly the Kid and newly renowned podcast, I think he's like number 2 and number 3 on the podcast list, but Gilly, it's public records that he had one of his stash houses here in Oxford Circle. He's known for ghostwriting for Lil Wayne. We're passing Pratt Street. So you can merge right if you want to get to that far lane over there, but you have to wait for those, it's like a little exit. You can't just drive over the median. We got a Maserati on my right. Okay, we're at Bridge Street. Look, there's a cross on my left-hand side, right below that 40-mile-per-hour speed limit. There's a cross on the pole, which signifies somebody passed away right there on that corner. And I remember growing up, I seen several other memorials throughout the years. It's like something that would happen, whether it be high school students or people crossing the street. I believe on one occasion there was, like last year, I think there was a young mother, 2 women in the car and a baby in the back, and I think she passed away or the baby passed away or something because there was an accident here on the boulevard. Now the speed limit is designed to curb accidents, but they tend to still happen. So historically, Roosevelt Boulevard is part of the Lincoln Highway, the first road across America, which ran for 3,389 miles, which if you're not from America. That's 5,454 kilometers. Wow, that is a very, very lengthy highway. And that ran from Times Square in New York City to Lincoln Park on the Pacific Ocean in San Francisco, California. Sheesh, so that's East Coast, West Coast. All right, we're passing the exit for the Tacony-Palmyra Bridge. If you take the Tacony-Palmyra, you'll get to New Jersey. We have the Oakland Terrace apartments on our right. We have neighborhoods on our left. More 40 mile per hour photo enforced signs, at least giving you a heads up. At least they don't sneak you. And then you can see the cameras. They're on my left and on my right. You see those poles? Very obvious, very visible. So right now we are currently at the intersection of Devereaux and Roosevelt Boulevard. Some people call it Devereaux. I call it Devereaux just out of habit of nature. I have my own way sometimes of pronouncing a word because of just how I was taught to read as a kid. You know, you like pronounce a root word and you know, you like try to make the best of it. Sometimes I don't always pronounce it correctly. So if I pronounce something incorrectly, feel free to correct me. I don't mind. We're passing Bustleton. See, that says, well, it's written Bustleton, Bustle, but you don't say the T's silent, so Bustleton. We're passing Levick Street. Have a Dunkin' Donuts on our right, a very, very wide median in the middle on our left with a lot of vegetation, a lot of greens. Now, we're traveling farther northeast. Farther northeast would be considered safer. The neighborhoods we're passing on our left and on our right are still considered part of Philadelphia. I have covered over a dozen Northeast Philadelphia neighborhoods. I haven't covered them all because they're not as popular and they get less than a couple hundred views. For some apparent reason, people aren't too interested in seeing the beauty Philadelphia has to offer. They're only interested in the slums, figuratively speaking. We're passing Harbison. We got Acme on our right, CVS, a few other businesses. There's a bank, Truist Bank, Unruh. We're passing Unruh. It might be Unruh, depending on how you were taught to say it. We're approaching Cotman Ave. Now, coming up, there was a skating rink. Did we pass it already? There was a skating rink that I used to go to as a kid called Wow. I don't know how many of the viewers remember Wow, but it brings back a lot of nostalgia. I think it's coming up. Hold on, wait. We're passing Tyson Ave. The 20 bus runs. We got Wawa on our right. Yeah, it's coming up. Office Max, because it was next to Office Max. Oh, Big Kmart. No, it was right here next to Big Kmart. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's called Rolling Thunder now. So we had two local skating rinks that were pretty popular. They were both in the Northeast that I used in my generation. Yes, there was probably other skating rinks. We got number one Asian supermarket on my right where you can get Asian goods. So we're going on the center roadway. If we would have went right, we would have stopped at that light up there, which is Cotman. That would have took us to our left, which is a whole nother neighborhood. Shout out to Paul and all the other viewers that are from this part of Philadelphia. But as I mentioned earlier, this is a cleaner. It's not crime-free, completely crime-free, because crime still happens periodically in this area. Targeted law enforcement sign on our right. Yeah, just giving you a heads up to drive safely because we're getting closer to the dangerous intersection known as Red Lion Road. Now, what's interesting about Red Lion Road, how I have connection to Red Lion Road is I went to John Welsh Elementary School located on 4th and York and 4th and York at the intersection of I guess you can say like third in between like 4th and like Lithgow. Anyway, I went to John Welsh on 4th and York. I went to Julio de Burgos on 7th and Lehigh, the original before they knocked it down. And then I went to Edison High School. Now, before going to Edison High School, Edison was a public school, local, regular public school that anybody could get into. I was always into arts. So I used to draw and I used to be into all that type of stuff, arts and design, stuff like that, things of that nature. We have a Dodge dealership on our left. So Jeeps and all that stuff. So before graduating 8th grade, Julio de Burgos, I applied for several high schools, specialty high schools, one of them being Swanson Arts and Technology, which is located at Red Lion Road and the Boulevard. Out of, I believe, I forgot the mathematics. I think out of like 9,000 students, 9,000 ninth graders that applied, or was it 2,000? It was a couple thousand ninth graders. I can't recall because my memory's kind of rusty. But out of a couple thousand ninth graders that applied, only 200 got accepted. That's how special, I guess at the time, I've never attended it, so I wouldn't be able to speak from firsthand. But that's how important they made this school seem, because it was an art school. Well, guess what? I applied. I was part of Young Scholars program, Temple University, in 8th grade in Julio de Burgos. I visited the interviewing process. You had to get interviewed. Your name had to be put in like a raffle. I don't know. Long story short, guys, I got accepted. Yes, I got accepted. We're passing Ryan Ave to our right and Borbeck Ave to our left. But at the time I was with Temple University's Young Scholar program, and in order for that scholarship program supposedly to be valid, I'm going to merge right. In order for that to be valid, I had to go to a neighborhood school in order to get the Temple University scholarship. I had to go to a neighborhood school, which was only Kensington High School or Edison Forever High School. So rather than going to Kensington, I went to Edison because they had like vocational workshops and stuff, and they had a video production program that I wanted to join. So I turned down my approval to attend Swanson Arts and Technology, right? I was one of the 200 students that were accepted. I attended 9th grade in Edison. Boom. I ended up somehow dropping out of the YSP program, Young Scholars program. We're passing Ron. We have a closed down Checkers on our right. So I somehow ended up in 9th grade just dropping the Temple University program, right? But anyway, before dropping, the representative that was handling my file, passing Stanwood, we have a burger and bar on our right, Gallo Seafood on our right, a few other businesses. She said, you know what? I'm sorry. You could have went to Swanson Arts and Technology. There you go. So that was my story. I got accepted to Swanson Arts and Technology, which they seem to make it appear to be really prestigious for art students. And I turned it down. So never got a chance to go to it. I guess hopefully my slot went to somebody who really needed it. Who would have got a chance to appreciate the experience better. I would have to take a heck of a trip to come down here from North Philly anyway. It was going to be something like two buses, which I wasn't looking forward to. Passing Strail. Yeah, this would have been like an hour and a half, almost 2 hour drive from where I'm from, because I would have had to like wake up early, catch the bus and all that stuff. But I thought that's an interesting fun fact. Park Ridge on our left, Boulevard 7th Adventist Church on our right. Now there is an airport in the northeast. When you get to far northeast, we're coming up. We're passing Pennypack Park, established in 1905, Pennypack Park. Greater Northeast Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce on our right, District Maintenance Facility of Pennypack Park. We're passing Winchester, the 2500 block of Winchester Ave. We got some one-story ranch style homes. Those rancher single duplex homes is two single homes, one story, and they're on our left too. So right now we are on the far right of the Roosevelt Boulevard. For a good period of this video, we were driving on the center lane, but I merged to the right just so that when we get to Red Lion Road, you guys can get a better view of these buildings that are on our right, because from the center lane, I don't think you got the best field of view. All right, let's slow down again. Photo enforced. Tremont Plaza on our right, grocery outlet, bargain market. And again, guys, as I mentioned earlier, some of these shopping complexes, they're the big box ones, so they receive a good amount of traffic. Then there's a lot of small businesses, which I don't really see a lot of people using too often. So this road right here is notorious for the two intersections which have been designated the second and third most dangerous intersections in the country, which by State Farm can be considered, we mentioned it, Red Lion Road and Grant Avenue respectively. So The dangerous reputation of the road led to the installation of the first red light cameras in Philadelphia in 2004. The road has been the scene of numerous pedestrian casualties, and studies are underway to allow pedestrian traffic to be separated from vehicular traffic. So I guess they're going to try to separate where people walk versus where the cars travel so they don't get hit, not as many casualties. Now you can literally ride this whole entire road to one of our local malls, originally known as Franklin Mills Mall, now titled Philadelphia Mills Mall. But you can actually take this to Franklin Mills Mall. You have two choices to get to Franklin Mills Mall if you're from North Philly or South Philly. Probably not South Philly. I think South Philly you might want to get to I-95. But if you're in North, you want to either get on the Roosevelt Boulevard or 95. Yeah, you could take all these little back blocks, but these are the fastest two ways to get there. Passing Goodnall, we have a little food market or Lidl, Five and Below, KFC, and so much more. I got a riddle for you guys, right? We're passing a Ford dealership. It's a simple riddle. What are two things that can be eaten for breakfast? Two things. Name it. What are two things that cannot be eaten for breakfast? On our right-hand side, we have a Luke Oil gas station, $4.09 per gallon. We're currently capturing footage in 4K resolution, 60 frames per second. So make sure to adjust your YouTube browser to the highest resolution possible if you want to enjoy the quality. We're passing Grant. This is one of the most dangerous intersections. Remember Grant? And then we will be approaching Red Lion Road shortly. There's a big sign on our left. Watch for pedestrians. And now it says speed limit, 45. You see it flashing? Slow down. You see it? It says slow down. Watch for pedestrians. Buffalo Wild Wings. You got Lowe's. You got another Walmart on our right. Passing Whitman Square, you got a Michael's Arts and Crafts, which they closed down the ones that were in South Philly and South Street and stuff. No, I think they put a Michael's where AC Moore was at. BS, I think they put a Michael's in South Philly. Famous Footwear. So you got, what, a good 2 Walmarts on the Roosevelt Boulevard. You have a Best Buy on Red Lion Road coming up. Yeah, a lot of, Lowe's and Home Depots. So we're on the 9800 block of the Roosevelt Boulevard. And we're traveling northeast. Passing Conwell Ave. Traffic laws, photo enforced, speed limit, 45 miles per hour. So this road continues northeast, interchanging with Woodhaven Road, which is what I talked about earlier. Woodhaven Road. If you're not from Philly, that means nothing to you. But let me just tell you what Woodhaven Road is. If you get off at Woodhaven Road, you'll stop at this extremely, extremely large mall called Philadelphia Mills Mall. There's movie theaters, dozens and dozens of stores, eateries, shopping center, things like that. So that's the relevance of Woodhaven Road. And now this road, it interchanges with Woodhaven Road, which is Pennsylvania Route 63, then narrowing as it approaches at its end to the intersection on Philadelphia's Bucks County border. So it borders Bucks County. Bucks County is one of the counties, the outskirts of Philly. We're passing Red Lion Road. This is it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Red Lion Road. Red Lion Road. And Swanson Arts and Technology was to my right. There was also a Nabisco factory right here. Wasn't there a shooting at the Nabisco factory? Yo, I forgot all about that. You see, there's so many different news headlines that you can probably look up related to the Roosevelt Boulevard. I completely forgot about that. There was like a Nabisco factory employee that I think he or she was a disgruntled worker. I don't know what the whole story is, but I believe they also shot up the factory. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. Help me with the facts. Help me or organize those details. We have the United Refrigeration Inc. on our right-hand side.